Well, I'm still here, and we had a pretty big fight earlier today. Ryan and I versus the grain auger. Grain auger 0, Travis and Ryan 1. So we originally started out for 2 reasons. There were 2 problems that I knew were prevalent from last year that we had to address before we went into this fall. Last fall, towards the end of the season, I was hearing some squeaking, and what it was our bushing gave out. And you can see I pretty much caught it right on time because there's hardly any of the actual hanger that's worn. I mean, it's actually not even egged out at all. So that was a good catch right there. That actually goes right down here in the sweep. It helps hold the auger up off the pan so you're not chewing up your pan. But for those that are eagle-eyed, notice that there is a hole from, well, the grain running along it. I gotta go through and I'm just gonna put a piece of steel, a plate, or whatever I end up finding, and I'm gonna tack weld it down in here and, you know, prolong the life of this, because every other auger we've had before this one, it always happens, and you run enough grain through them, things wear out. So with this off like it is, I'm actually going to weld it as it sits. I'm going to do it tomorrow morning, of course. I'm just got to clean out the last crud, so you know it's a fire hazard. The auger right through here is all right, and that comes out. This whole piece came off so much easier than the old augers we used to have, the Kiwanis. To do this, you actually had to release a pipe clamp, and to actually get that lined back up and connected back together, it was such a nightmare. I mean, it usually took me an hour by myself because you had to have it just lined up just right to get it hooked up. This thing is meant to flex, and all it is 2 bolts on either side, and it fell apart. Plus it actually has this plate over top of it so you can get in and actually see what's going on, which I really like. So this piece, it's actually worn a little bit, as you can tell, but you can see it's got a little bit of play. I don't see any reason to replace it just yet. I mean, that's just to allow the grain around to flow around it, right? I mean, I'm not a mechanic, but that really doesn't seem like that's a problem to me. So, dry sense of humor, because nobody really seems to get it. That's going to be replaced. That is actually the find that I was not aware of, because that is actually up behind this, and probably part of the squeaking that I was hearing, potentially, or I just got really lucky and saw that. So I got to take that, and the big piece. We already threw a bunch of it in the back of the truck. This was a nightmare to get apart. So, still warm too. This is a gearbox that, as you can tell, goes in from the tractor. The power takeoff, and it goes straight in, and this is the auger flighting, or for the main auger. And then this shaft that is, you know, used to be here, goes out the top, and that's what runs your sweep. This was either 1 or 2. The second problem I knew that we had to address this year, because all of this oil that you guys may or not be able to see, because it's getting to that time of year where it's really not that late in the day, but the sun's starting to get low. We were losing oil, and the oil looks absolutely terrible. It was just going to keep getting worse, and I was actually going to look into just going through and just rebuilding it, and my parts guy said it's cheaper, you're farther ahead, to literally just get a new gearbox and we priced it out already, and a couple $100, new gearbox. I mean, and eliminate all of these problems that this thing was fixing to give us. With the problems we had up there, with this leaking as much as it is just from sitting. I mean, we haven't ran this thing for 2 months, and it's still leaking oil. It wouldn't have made it through another season. So this is one of those necessary preventative maintenances, largely just because it was going to fail. Long and short of it. The only spot where we got lucky on, because for those of you that are familiar with gearboxes and you're seeing the amount of just complete damage this thing has gotten, this was from last night. It has 2 set screws on it. We couldn't get the one out. It was completely stripped, so we tried drilling it out, failed at that. Thought, which, you know, air hammer right here, right? Thought that we may have actually backed it out a little bit, or we loosened it. You know, we were grasping at strings, and we hit it with the impact, hoping to loosen it up. We actually did move it. I mean, believe it or not, but not enough to where it was going to give. So we need a new yoke, new gearbox, new knuckle assembly, new well, I got the steel for the pan on the sweep, and then right here, I mean, this is all part of the gearbox, but this actually goes up to, it's not out here, I gotta go find it. This goes up to another knuckle, and that was actually, we couldn't get it apart, so I actually just torched that. So gearbox there, and that's a good question. See, that's why you gotta, oh, there we go. We got this guy. You gotta replace it because it's locking up. Might have something to do with, you know, getting heated with the torch inadvertently. Wasn't my intentions, but was originally trying to reuse as many of the parts as I could, but I'll be needing either this piece, if they can get me that. I'm hoping I don't have to get the shaft new, because I think the shaft is fine, but just that. So I gotta throw the rest of these parts into the truck, get that welded up. I don't know how long it's gonna take to actually, you guys are probably wanting to see the auger. I'll show you the auger really quick, then I gotta get going. I gotta go check cows. Probably next week. It's actually, today is Thursday. I mean, why am I not posting a whole lot this past week? Not a whole lot going on, and I don't want to, I could try to, well, I can post videos just to post videos, but then I don't think you guys really want that either. So this is what it looks like. There is another gearbox up here, much better condition, and as you can see, probably not because it's dark, but we got that guy down in there. That shaft that I was just looking at up on the bench slides up into that. Ooh, the only downside is when you're using the torch to get everything loosened up, we don't have the nice red paint on it anymore. You gotta go through with a hammer. We'll pound this back straight. And the auger flighting is all right in there, but yeah, just required maintenance. It needs it. And this is what it looks like down the other end. I mean, 2 bolts and we're good to go. I mean, this looks kind of rough, but I actually got to get these rubber. Well, if I could think right now, I'd tell you exactly what these are, because I was just telling Ryan what they were. But I gotta get a few of them too. That's all I got for tonight's video. I hope everybody had a good week. I mean, it's officially September. And now that it's officially September, we need to start counting down. We don't need to start, we already are. Counting down till harvest. And there's plenty to do. As you can see, the 76 is set up to the silo. I didn't need to do that because I thought I had to climb in and clean it out, which I will, I guess. There isn't as much corn in there as I thought there was. So, all right, with that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys later.